Thank you. There's that confidence I like. I thank you for seeking me out. Amidst all this merriment, I wasn't sure we'd have a chance to speak this evening. I wasn't sure we'd have a chance to make merry, just the two of us. We shared a romantic moment of the mind while cloaked in the weave, didn't we? And I seem to recall a fond allusion to that moment afterwards. Allow me to make the following proposition. There's a book that circulates in Ulm, detailing the first 1,000 nights of a newlywed king and queen. They turned everything they did into an art. The art of conversation. The art of taste, time-honored and newly acquired. The art of the body. The exploration and acceptance of the self and the other. The art of the night itself. I say we take a page from their book. Then we'll start writing the prequel. What do you say? That's because I'm full of delights. We'll let the night run its course, and when everything is quieting down, safe in the arms of sleep, I'll come by to find safety in yours.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. I saw you with Gale. You two looked cozy. Far be it from me to judge. Blood must still be running a little hot after everything. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? I think you'll find I've been showing ample concern for myself since the moment we met. I mean, tieflings. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. It's not talking enough for my liking. Share a bottle with me? Just a bottle. I think you have other plans afterwards. Wouldn't want to keep you. Well, maybe I would. But first come, first served. There. Some liquid courage. And try to get some rest too if you can. Tomorrow's another day.
You know, I never pictured myself as a hero. Never thought I'd be the one they'd toast for saving so many lives. And now that I'm here... I hate it. This is awful. We killed some goblins to save some tieflings. The tally of lives didn't change much. But what do I get for all my hard work? A pat on the head and vinegar for wine. Pfft. Well, it's easy for some, of course. You and Gale seem to be getting on very well. I wonder if he uses magic in the bedroom. That could go very well, or very badly. No, my love, I'm not jealous of the walking encyclopedia. But you go ahead. Have fun.
There she is, the woman herself. Let us raise a glass to freedom from tyranny. May we hew a clear path for the downtrodden to travel. To you, a legend in the making. And to you and Gale, may your stars burn ever bright. And if I were? It's a good thing I'm not jealous then. Go off, have your fun. I've got a tankard keeping me company.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Neogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades, yet they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness. A pity for us you have promised your body to Gale. I've no doubt he's as seductive as he is succinct. For now. But come morning, you will wonder. You will wonder how my lips might have tasted, how my fingers on your skin might have felt. Oh, but do enjoy yourself this night. I intend to myself. Wyll looks particularly tempting.
We should have had wine more often. More warming than the fire.
There's promise in patience, I assure you. Let the night run its course so that we can run ours as well.
If you're looking for another shot, I'm afraid you've missed it.
A fine night for it.
To think you might have known paradise. Celebrate now. Come dawn, we depart.
The buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk. Though you seek repose, you needn't spend the night alone. With whom will you share a bed? Your heart skips a beat. What treasures might this night bestow?
I love this time of night. There's almost a reverent silence that accompanies the peak of darkness. And you'd almost believe the dawn will never break. You understand it then? The timelessness of lovers. That most beautiful of fantasies. More beautiful than this. There we have it. Beauty. You taste of untold delights. How about we continue our tasting? Good morning. Looks like the dawn broke after all. So much for the timelessness of lovers. It's all right. You look even more beautiful in the light. I'm sure I do. I know we have to get moving again soon, but before we part, I'd like to tell you something. I'd like to tell you a story. I owe you as much. It's a story full of answers long overdue. It is the story of a man who fell in love with a goddess. Thank you. Once upon a time, not quite that long ago, there lived a wizard in a tower. The wizard was what one might call a prodigy, who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it, like a musician or a poet. Such was his skill that it earned him the attention of the mother of magic herself, the Lady of Mysteries, Mystra. He was. Even though it was in Mystra's affections that his true power lay. Perhaps it was not quite love, but you see, the wizard was but a very young man. It was most certainly love to him. Mystra showed him the secrets beneath the veils. The gossamer veils first, draped across the weave. The delicate veils next. draped across her body. "Chosen one," she whispered, and she slipped them off completely. Alas, it was Mystra's interest that didn't last. One day, all too soon, the whispers stopped. The goddess spurned the mortal. The veils were drawn once more, and the wizard was left behind, heartbroken. He was blinded by love. Good stories are rife with lovers' follies after all. Like so many of the heartbroken, he did something infinitely foolish. One has to think big if one seeks to win back a goddess. So the wizard thought big. In a manner of speaking. But it was something rather different than a ring he sought as a gift. Here goes. Once upon a time, very long ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his story for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic unleashed that day was phenomenal, rolling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. A fragment of it was caught and sealed away in a book. No ordinary book, mind you. A tome of gateways that contained within it a bubble of astral plane. It was a fragment of primal weave locked out of time, locked away from Mystra herself. What if, the silly wizard thought, what if after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? The result was certainly maddening. Here, place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in. Into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, then suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws. It's unstoppable as it digs through you and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
Terrifying, isn't it? And that is only the beginning. This netherese taint, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as it absorbs weave, it remains stable, to an extent. The moment it becomes unstable, however. Rather worse, actually. It will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. Yes, it is my truth, finally revealed. It is this folly that led Mystra to abandon me completely. I can only hope that you won't abandon me as well, after all we've been through. After the night we spent together, surely we can brave even this side by side. That is a great relief. Your apprehension is most warranted, but oh, a great relief this is indeed. I don't know what I did to deserve the magic that you do. Many challenges lie ahead, but in this moment I believe nothing to be insurmountable. The road awaits. Shall we? Or do you have questions for me? You don't. And a great compliment that is too. You are unique in your own right, and just as incomparable. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. She's my muse still, the embodiment of magic. But the embodiment of love? Only if we ever meet again will I know. The orb was kept safe and inert in a pocket of astral plane suspended in time. If I can somehow manage to expel it from my body while in the astral plane, it will be rendered inert again. Alternatively, I could learn to control its chaotic magic. That is, to succeed where I failed before. Without Mistra's favor, I don't see how that may come to pass. Of course, there could be different answers as well. Faerun brims with more magic than any one wizard could fathom, let alone comprehend. Who knows what outlandish solutions may yet present themselves. Here's to us, and to brand new adventures.
Speak, quickly. So I did. The blade proved a distracted study. I dismissed him once my pleasures were taken. Should my pleasures need further serving, I know to look elsewhere. We need speak no more of it.
How can I help? Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like to be a god, to know yourself to be untouchable, to be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel, and with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more, an event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. For a spell, Mistral was reborn as Mistra. Upon her return, the weave returned with her. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus, not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History. Repetition. It's the way things go. If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. I cherish you. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls. A night to remember. It was wonderful, wasn't it? Before we go on, though, do first let me apologize. To share such a night with you only to tell you of a previous lover the next morning, it wasn't the most gentlemanlike behavior. But I had to finally tell you. Silence would have been far worse behavior still. Nevertheless, I am sorry. One shouldn't be all gentlemen, or we certainly wouldn't have done some of the things we did the other night. But you first approached me about the other night. What was it you wanted to tell me? There's the magic word.